Hello everyone, welcome to Arka Science, and today in this video I will be talking about the transit of Mars into the sign of Pisces for all 12 ascendant signs. Mars has entered the sign of Pisces on 23rd of April 2024 and it got conjunct with Rahu, Mercury and Venus. At this moment of time, Mercury is in its retrograde motion in the debilitated state in the sign of Pisces, but it will turn direct on 25th of April 2024. Venus at this moment of time is in the Gandanta state in the water fire interface of Pisces and Aries, but on 25th of April even Venus will change the sign. It will come out of Pisces, it will enter the sign of Aries and get conjunct with Jupiter for few days, because we all know that on 1st of May 2024 even Jupiter is going to change the sign. Yes, at this point of time in the sign of Aries we have Sun also in the exalted state, but Sun is also receiving the third aspect of Saturn at this point of time. So starting from 25th of April onwards, it will be basically Mars, Rahu and Mercury, and let us also know that this transit of Mars in the sign of Pisces will be till 1st of June 2024. If I talk about particularly the conjunction of Mars, Mercury and Rahu, because Mercury will also come out of Pisces on 10th of May 2024. So till 10th of May it will be basically Mars, Mercury and Rahu, and after 10th of May it will be Mars and Rahu conjunction. Okay, now this conjunction which is happening at this point of time, in order to understand this conjunction we have to see that what is happening in the sign of Pisces for last few days or maybe over a month. Starting from the month of April, you have seen that Mercury got retrograded back into the sign of Pisces, and then it was followed by the solar eclipse, and we have all seen that the scenarios all over the world, be it the any kind of scenario which happened between Iran and Israel, which have been happening, and many other events, similar kind of things which have been happening all over the world, which is very concerning. And this kind of planetary influences are means this is an indication that this kind of things may happen again in the future also. And if we talk about the sign of Pisces, it is a watery sign. In my previous video also, when I talked about the influence of Mercury, I talked about many things to be happening. And now you see, after the solar eclipse and during this Mercury retrograde, similar kind of event, calamity, the heavy showers, rainfall and massive destruction which happened in the Dubai. Okay, and similar kind of event happened 1 or 2 days back in the southern China. It was that exact moment or time frame when Mars was entering into the sign of Pisces. Means it was a huge storm or rainfall and massive destruction, flood, means it's a very big flood which had happened in southern part of China, and many other parts of the world are also getting impacted due to this particular planetary alignments. And since I say that Pisces is a watery sign and influence of Rahu is already there, Mercury is in the retrograde motion at this point of time, and when we talk about the change in weather pattern, then I will say Mercury is the planet which is responsible for the change in weather pattern. This is one of the principle of the mundane astrology which I am sharing at this point of time with you. You will see that whenever there is a change of nakshatra by Mercury, change of sign by Mercury, change of motion by Mercury, or Mercury gets conjunct with a different kind of planet, you will see there is always a change in weather pattern, change in climatic condition, or there can be change in the environment also, even in the behavior of the people, in the society, in the environment. Okay, and at this point of time it is happening in the sign of Pisces, and Pisces means the watery sign, that is the deep waters, that is the oceans, sea. So the cities which are associated in the oceans or sea, this similar kind of thing I said in my previous video also, that the cities which are mostly situated in the ports, that is the sea ports or the oceans, okay, so they will be impacted more. And since Mars is that fiery energy, so this can also create a lot of storms and natural calamities in the upcoming days and months. because of this influence, because normally transit of Mars happens for 45 or 46 days, but this time the transit of Mars is happening very fast, means it will be transiting very fast in its motion. So it will cover the sign of Pisces in around 38 days or something like that. It will then leave the sign of Pisces and it will enter its own Mula Trikona sign Aries. But till then, I will say it's a situation where many things can be happening all over the world, not only in our personal lives, but also you will see that worldwide we are getting lot of news during this particular time. As I said, that Sun is in the sign of Aries, it is exalted, but it is in the aspect of Saturn, and 12th from Sun we have Mars and Rahu. So there can be lot of things and happening, and you will also see that all over the world authorities, governments, even they are having lot of issues managing the matters in their country, in their areas. Okay, so there can be some kind of chaos like situation all over the world. In our day-to-day life we will understand this from the 12 ascendants. So if you want a consultation from me, check the links down in the description section. You can also mail me through my email ID, or you can get connected with me through my Facebook or Instagram accounts. And if you are new to this channel, I request you to tap onto the subscribe button, click onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new video you get notified instantly. For the Aries ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 12th house in the presence of Rahu and Mercury. So you need to be very careful regarding your health, especially with regards to eyes, nervous system, any kind of ailments related to blood and the skin issues. These are the things which you need to be very careful about. There can be anxiety, stress, restlessness at the subconscious level, which can also lead to increase of aggression and anger within yourself, and that can lead to create some kinds of conflict or interferences between you and any kind of person you meet in your daily contact. At the personal level also, I will say that in your personal relationships, in the married life, or even at the professional partnership also, there can be some kind of significant indifferences during this particular time, which can lead to problems between understanding on certain matters between you and your partner. So you need to work on that matter. Okay, since Mars is also the 8th lord transiting in the 12th house, and it is also the first lord, so some sudden chance of moving to some far away place or foreign place or abroad, chances are there that you might get some sudden opportunity during this particular transit. So these are the things which you need to be very you should to look forward regarding, specifically regarding your relationship and health. Okay, so that's it for the Aries ascendant people. For the Taurus ascendant people, transit of Mars is happening in the 11th house, so this will give you gains and profit from any kind of work related to real estate, landed properties, construction, or suppose if you are associated with any kind of work related to mechanical engineering or any kind of technical fields or technical work which you are doing, there this transit of Mars is going to give you very good results. You will be having a great deal of positive energy and optimism in order to complete those work. So it will also increase your name, fame and reputation at your work area. Since Mars is your 12th lord transiting in the 11th house in the presence of Rahu and debilitated Mercury, it is looking on to your 2nd house of income and wealth. So this is a time we need to be very careful regarding any kind of matter related to budget, money, finances. There can be lots of expenditures during this particular time, and there can also be some kinds of fraud, specifically monetary fraud or scam, as we know that nowadays technologies are getting exploited and misused for these scams and all. So you need to be very careful regarding those things during this time. And in your existing relationship or any kind of partnership, there can be some kind of indifferences or a conflict during this transit of Mars in the sign of Pisces, as it is transiting in the 11th house in the presence of debilitated Mercury and Rahu. And if you are also thinking to get into a new kind of relationship, you need to be very careful that whom you are getting associated with. So you have to be very careful, be very choosy while choosing a person in your life, be it friend or be it partner. Okay, so these are the things you need to be very careful about. Mars is aspecting your 5th house, so this is a good time to start any new kind of work, or suppose you are specializing on some kind of talent or creativity, so you have to you can work on it. That is a good time. So that's it for the Taurus ascendant people. For the Gemini ascendant people, this Mars is transiting in the 10th house and in the sign of Pisces along with Rahu and Mercury. So this transit of Mars will create some kind of disinterest or detachment at your work, which is normally not seen through Mars in the 10th house, but since it is happening in the sign of Pisces, so, and along with Rahu and Mercury, debilitated Mercury, Mercury is your Lagna lord, so at times you may feel too much detached, disinterested towards your work. So this is a wonderful time to change the course of your work. Suppose if you are thinking to take a transfer or take some kinds of change in work or even the job opportunity, so this is the right time to make a change at your workplace. Okay, there can be some kinds of conflict or indifferences with your authorities, boss, or even with your co-workers also. There can be like some manipulations or politics against you which is happening at your workplace, so you need to be very careful regarding what work you are getting or which responsibilities are there for you, you have to perform. Okay, so you need to be very careful regarding that, or else this can also lead to some kinds of defamation also. Okay, so these are the things you need to be very careful. Another thing is that Mars will be looking on to your first house, fourth house and fifth house, so this is also a time regarding what kind of decision makings you are making. So don't make any decisions, don't take any decisions out of any rush or impulsion. Think about it and then take it. Since it is aspecting your fourth house, so you have to be very careful regarding the health of your mother. At the home level also, at the domestic level also, certain matters are there which you need to be very careful about. Take care about it and make sure that you perform all your duties regarding your home perfectly, because at times you may also seem very detached and disinterested towards any kind of responsibilities with regards to your home and mother. So be very careful regarding the health of your mother during this particular time. Okay, so that's it for the Gemini ascendant people. For the Cancer ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 9th house. Now since Mars is the Yoga Karaka planet for the Cancer ascendant people, it's a very good planet for the Cancer ascendant people. So transit of Mars in the 9th house is normally considered good, but here you have to understand that here it is getting the influence of debilitated Mercury, Rahu. So during this particular time you need to be very careful regarding what kind of influence you are getting or what kind of wisdom or knowledge you are getting from anyone. Don't trust anyone for what they are saying. Make sure that you have a proper sense of understanding what is right and what is wrong for you, then only it will give you very good results. Now since 9th house is the house of optimism, positivity, divinity, so this transit of Mars in the 9th house will bring a big boost of positive thoughts within you. So this is a right time to start any new kind of studies, or suppose if you are thinking to go to some far away place, have some long distance travels, do some explorations, learnings, philosophy, law, understanding new things, then it's a wonderful time. This is also a good time to start any new kind of work, because Mars will be aspecting your third house. So suppose if you are having any kind of creative talents, or suppose you are thinking that okay, this aspect of my life requires more efforts, then this is the right time to start about it. Okay, although too much long distance journey can also create tiredness within you, it can exhaust you, because Mars is a very fiery planet and it is in the water sign, so at times there can be conflicts. Yes, from the conflict I also understand, I also can reckon that during this particular time there can be some kinds of difference of opinion between you and your father or any elder from your family during this particular time, because the influence of Rahu over it. So there can be like difference in belief system or thought process, so that can also create some kind of impulsion within you and create some kinds of conflicts. You have to be very careful regarding that, and don't enforce your belief system on others during this particular transit, otherwise it can lead to unnecessary anger, arguments or fights. Okay, so you need to be very careful regarding what you are preaching, because from the 9th house it is aspecting the third house of communication and communication skills. So these are the things you need to be very careful about. So that's it for the Cancer ascendant people. For the Leo ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 8th house. For the Leo people also, Mars is a Yoga Karaka planet, but the Yoga Karaka planet is transiting in the 8th house, so that is not so good about it. Okay, first of all, it is the ninth lord transiting in the 8th house, so these are the and it is also the fourth lord transiting in the 8th house. So this is a very important time. You need to be very careful regarding the health of your parents. There can be a situation, there can be a scenario where they are expecting certain kind of duties and responsibilities from you, and you might get detached or disinterested, or suppose you are not performing your duties and responsibilities the way they want, or not doing it timely. This kind of scenarios can be there, because that's how Pisces sign work, because it is a sign of liberation and salvation. So you might feel all of a sudden detached of your work, and since Rahu is there, so you might also get into some other kind of deviated into other kind of work or responsibility. You may feel that that is more important than the regular traditional or cultural works and duties. Okay, so that can lead to some kind of conflicts at your family level also. Okay, so you need to be very careful regarding what kind of responsibilities you are getting from your parents, and try to take care regarding their health also, because it is transiting in the 8th house. So element of suddenness is always there, and since it is transiting along with Rahu and Mercury, you need to be also be very careful regarding your health, specifically related to blood related issues, nervous system. Okay, and skin ailments. These are the things you need to be very careful. Don't hurry regarding any matter, because 8th house is also the house of sudden events, injuries, accidents. Okay, some kind of expenditures are seen, because Mars will be aspecting your second house, and have a control over your speech, because it can actually elevate the energy, and you may say something out of rush and aggression, and which can lead to some kind of problems. Okay, so these are the things you need to be very careful about. That's it for the Leo ascendant people. For the Virgo ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 7th house. So the first and the foremost thing is that you need to be very careful regarding your relationships, your partnership, specifically in the personal life also, in the professional life also, and regarding anyone you meet in your day-to-day life. Because you see, for the Virgo people, third house is ruled by Mars. Third house is daily contact, your communication, and that is transiting in the 7th house, and from 7th house it is aspecting the first house, means your personality. So you will be judged by your actions, you will be judged by your efforts. So you need to be very careful regarding how you are connecting with other people. So try to avoid any kinds of arguments, fights, or unnecessary interferences or conflicts at the personal level also, in your own relationship, in your own married life, and your professional partnerships also. Try to have equal, try to give equal opportunity and opinion to your partner also, because that will actually maintain the relationship between you and that person in a very good way, or else it may create a significant amount of indifferences and conflict between you and that person. Because Mars is a planet in the 7th house, it does not goes for any kind of compromise. Okay, and that creates the problem. So these are the things. Another thing is that Mars will be aspecting your first house and second house, so it can increase the aggression and impulsion within you. It can also increase the sometimes anger also, because the influence of Rahu within you means, and Mars will be also aspecting the second house. So work on your speech, try to maintain the spendings and budget in a very proper manner, or else it can lead to a lot of expenditures. At the work level also, I will say that there can be some kind of significant amount of indifferences with the authorities also, because the fourth aspect of Mars is falling on the 10th house. So these are the things for the Virgo ascendant people. You need to be very careful regarding this transit of Mars in the 7th house in the sign of Pisces. For the Libra ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 6th house. Normally the transit of Mars in the 6th house is considered good. Okay, but here you have to understand that Mars is your 7th lord, Mars is your second lord. So any matter related to family, any matter related to your personal relationships during this transit might be a time of anxiety or stress for you. So you need to be very careful regarding your finances, your budget, your expenditures. This is a good time to pay off your loans. Okay, suppose if you are already in some kind of debts, then this Mars will give you the energy, or give you such certain opportunity to pay off your loans. So in that way you can utilize this transit of Mars. Since it is in the 6th house, it will also give you some good energy towards performing your day-to-day life activities or following a proper repetition of work, the work which you repeat a lot, okay, in day-to-day life. In those kind of works you will be doing very good during this transit of Mars in the 6th house. But since it is the sign of Pisces and it is in conjunction with Mercury and Rahu in the 6th house, so I will also say that there can be some kind of problems or some kind of issues with the co-workers also. There can be some indifferences, so you need to be very careful regarding that. And since Mars is aspecting your 12th house and 1st house, so at the subconscious level there can be a lot of stress and anger because of the events or influences which you are going through at this point of time. So you have to have a maintain a proper calmness, composure during this transit of Mars in the 6th house. Mars will be aspecting your 9th house also. So due to work there can be some travels can be there, some long distance travels can be there, and for that some expenditures are also seen. So have a proper maintenance of budget and expenditures. There can be some long distance travels during this particular time all of a sudden, but yes, you have to also maintain that you don't make some lot of expenditures. There can be some conflict with your partner because Mars in the 6th house, Mars is your 7th lord. So at the relationship level, marriage life, or at the partnership, specifically at the professional level, there can be some conflict, indifferences. So this can lead to also great sense of detachment between you and that person. So you have to maintain certain things, okay, then only the relationship and the other things will go ahead. So suppose if you are also thinking to get into a new kind of relationship or new kind of partnership at this moment of time, I will say wait for certain time, let Mars come out of the 6th house, then only take a decision. Okay, so that's it for the Libra ascendant people. For the Scorpio ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 5th house, and Mars is the Lagna lord transiting in the 5th house. So I will say that this transit to some extent is good, because it will give you bring a lot of positive energy within you. You will be able to focus on your creative talents, your efforts. Suppose if you are thinking to start a new kind of work, or suppose you are planning to start a new any kind of work in your day-to-day life, this transit of Mars is going to give you very good results, because it will boost your creative self-expression, your efforts, your creativity, your talents. Okay, you will also see that there is a great deal of fearlessness, because this Mars in the 5th house will give that boost to your ego. So you will all of a sudden you will feel a lot of adventurous energy within you. So this can also allow you to get success in certain kinds of work which you are just ignoring from the past, or you are thinking that let me do it later on. So in those work also you might get success during this particular transit of Mars in the 5th house. But at the day-to-day life, suppose if you are thinking that you are going to some trips with the family members, or you are going to some far away places, some tours and travels, in or suppose you are going for some adventure activities also, I will say that Mars is aspecting your 8th house, Mars is aspecting your 12th house. So you need to be very careful. Suppose if you are indulging yourself in any kind of adventure activities, otherwise normal sports activities or anything related to athletics, you might get interested in those kind of activities. So this will not only improve your health, but also it will improve your physical and mental health together. Okay, but if you are doing any kind of adventure activities, make sure that you are doing it with proper guidance and with proper maintenance of other things. Okay, because since it is with Rahu and with Mercury, Mercury is your 8th lord, so I will say that try to avoid any kind of adventure activities. Okay, try to avoid it, or else it may create some kind of unnecessary problems. Another thing is that since 5th house is children, so you might get worried regarding any kind of behavioral changes of your children. That can be a sense of worry for you. Okay, so make sure that you understand them. Don't be too much harsh on them, or don't be too much disciplinary actions, or don't do that. Try to understand them, and then it will be good for you. So that's it for the Scorpio ascendant people. For the Sagittarius ascendant people, this transit of Mars is happening in the 4th house. For the Sagittarius people, Mars happens to be your 12th lord and your 5th lord. Now Mars is a good planet for you, it is a 5th lord, but it is transiting in the 4th house, which is also good, but it is transiting along with Rahu and Mercury. Okay, and Mercury is debilitated, and in the 4th house we all know that Mars loses the digbal, it loses the directional strength. So during this particular time there can be some kind of unnecessary conflicts or some kind of heated arguments or at the domestic level, so or any matter related to your home or means domestic affairs might create stress or anxiety within you. Okay, that can also lead to that hot headedness. Okay, so always some kind of tension means at home, this kind of situation can be there. This is a time you need to be very careful regarding the health of your mother during this time. Mars will be aspecting your 7th house, so at your married life also, at your relationship level also, I will say you need to have a great deal of responsibility towards understanding the opinion of your partner. Suppose if you are having any kind of professional partnership, in that case also I will say that any matter related to work or business might create some kind of tension within you, and that can lead to some kind of conflict between you and your partner. So you need to be very careful that whatsoever the situation is, it should not hamper the bonding between you and your partner, be it at the home level, personal level, or at the professional level, because Mars will be aspecting your 10th house and 11th house also, your work and gains. So if you are maintaining those things properly, then it will be helpful in your work, and it will also bring gains for you. Okay, since Mars will be in opposition to 10th house, means opposite to the 10th house, so this can also lead to some kinds of thoughts, indifferences or opposition of ideologies basically between you and your authorities or boss. So this can lead to some kinds of problems, so at your work level also, specifically at the job level. Okay, so these are the things you need to be very careful about. Okay, and for the students I will say, since 5th lord Mars is coming in the 4th house, so it's a good time to focus on your studies. But since Rahu is also here and Mercury is also here, so some kinds of like influences, deviations can be there, although you will be thinking to focus more on your studies and all, but some kind of deviations are there. So if you are able to manage those deviations and distractions, this can really be good for you for your studies. And any person who are associated with any kind of work related to landed properties, construction business, real estate, for them, or any thing related to technology or engineering or mechanical engineering specifically, or technical fields, for them this transit of Mars is going to give you very good results. So that's it for the Sagittarius ascendant people. For the Capricorn ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the 3rd house. I will say that this transit of Mars is a very good transit. This will give you that extra energy, positive outlook towards your day-to-day life, towards performing your efforts, your actions in right amount, in right position, because here Rahu will also help you out. I will also say that although Rahu and Mercury, this can create some kind of influences and some kind of distractions, but after 10th of May, when Mercury comes out of your 3rd house, then you will see that this transit of Mars is going to give you very good results. Only one thing you have to be very careful about is that anyone in your daily contact, now that can be younger siblings, friends, neighborhood, or anyone in your daily contact with whom you meet a lot. Okay, with them there can be some difference of opinions, so you have to be very careful regarding your communications, what you are sharing and to whom. And today is the world of social media and social networking, so what you are posting in social media and everything, that are the things you need to be very careful about during this particular transit of Mars in the 3rd house. Some short travels are there, some all of a sudden some short travels can be there during this particular transit of Mars in the 3rd house. And since Mars will be aspecting directly your 9th house, you need to be very careful regarding the health of your father, and some confusion, conflicts, indifferences, or maybe even on some matters, certain matters, oppositions related to anything said to you by your father, or you might get some kind of indifferences regarding the belief system, your own belief system, and what your elders of your family is saying or what your father is saying. Okay, so that can create some kinds of uh, stress or anxiety within you. So I will say that make sure that you do not hurt the sentiments of your father, and make sure that everything are in order. Although Rahu will make you do something, anything in a very innovative way, and that can lead to that conflict, but still I will say that you need to be very careful regarding your maintaining your own belief system, your communication skills, what you are saying and what whom to you are delivering it. Okay, so these are the things you need to be very careful about. Okay, some short travels are there. Make sure that you use those short travels to the benefit of your work and your day-to-day life in your efforts, because this Mars will be aspecting your 10th house also, so it will actually be good for your work. Okay, so make the most out of it. That's it for the Capricorn ascendant people. For the Aquarius ascendant people, the transit of Mars is happening in the second house. Normally the transit of Mars in the second house is considered not so good, and here it is in conjunction with Mercury, and that also debilitated Mercury and Rahu. And Mercury happens to be, for the Aquarius ascendant people, Mercury happens to be your 8th lord also. Apart from being the 5th lord, it is the 8th lord also. So here I will specifically say that this can actually lead to some kinds of problems at the family level, especially some kind of misunderstandings or even anxiety or even anger. Okay, so you have to be very careful regarding your speech, what you are saying, to whom you are saying. Later on you may feel that okay, you could have controlled yourself. Okay, so these are the things. Another matter is finances. I can see some expenditures or spendings. So have a proper look at your budget, have a proper look at your finances during this particular transit of Mars in the second house. Since Mars happens to be your 10th lord, it is transiting in the second house. So suppose if you are searching for a new job, or suppose if you are thinking to change a new job or new kind of work, then this transit of Mars is going to give you very good results. Okay, since Mars happens to be your 3rd lord also transiting in the second house, so suppose anyone who is having any kind of work which requires a lot of movement, or which requires some kind of short trips, or suppose tours and travels, in that case also this transit of Mars is going to give you very good results, because it will bring money for you. Okay, or you will be able to save some money from those kind of work. So in that regard, this transit of Mars is going to give you very good results, but you have to see that Mars is aspecting your 8th lord or 8th house also, and in the presence of 8th lord Mercury, that also debilitated Mercury, and with Rahu. So you have to be very careful regarding your health also, specifically related to nervous system and skill elements. And since it is happening in the second house, so eyes, these are the things you need to be very careful about. And suppose if you are in your married life, so there can be some matters where there can be some conflicts between your family and your spouse's family, that is in-laws. So you have to maintain certain things so that there can be peace at the family level. So these are the things you need to be very careful about. That's it for the Aquarius ascendant people. For the Pisces ascendant people, Mars is transiting in the first house. Now Mars happens to be your second lord, Mars happens to be your 9th lord transiting in the first house. Now 9th lord coming in the first house is also considered very good. Second lord coming into the first house is also considered very good. So by the lordship, the transit of Mars in the first house in the Pisces ascendant, I will say it is a very good transit, because it will bring luck in your favor. You will be able to focus more towards your finances, your family matters. That will be the main focus, and you will also get the benefit of your luck and fortune. You will see that yes, some divine energy is following you, is giving you good results. But since it is along with Rahu, so your approach towards the life, towards the decision making and day-to-day life decisions, that will become innovative, or that can change all of a sudden. So this can also change the course of your decision making in day-to-day life or your whatever work you are doing. So and also it can also impact your belief system also, because ninth house lord is Mars. In the first house it is getting conjunct with Rahu, so it can also challenge your belief system on, and that can also deviate you from one path to another. So this is a very important time, that what decisions you are making in your day-to-day life, because this Mars will bring that high energy, confidence within you, or you may feel that whatever I am doing, I am doing good. Means out of ego you may feel that whatever I'm doing good, so who cares. This kind of feeling can be there, and that can actually can deviate you from right path. Okay, so you have to be very careful that you follow the right path. Okay, these are the very important thing for you to maintain during this particular transit of Mars having in the first house. Another thing is that there can be a sense like some long distance travels can be there with regards to your higher education. Or suppose if you are thinking that let me start some technical education or some engineering based education, okay, in that regards also this transit of Mars is going to give you very good results. But Mars will be aspecting your 7th house. At your personal level it's a very good transit because it will improve your personal growth, but this Mars is aspecting your 7th house, so it will create some kind of conflict or ego clashes or ego battles between you and your partner. So this is not a right time, I will say, to get into new relationship, I will say, because it may create some kind of rifts between you and your partner. And in your existing relationship also, I will say that try to give some importance, try to value the opinions of your partner. Okay, and Mars will be aspecting your 4th house. So at the home level, at the domestic level also, there can be some anger problems, some arguments, or even like on petty matters there can be some indifferences and some stress. Okay, so these are the things you need to be very careful about. Have a control over your impulsion and aggression during this transit. So that's it for the Pisces ascendant people. So hope you have liked this video. If you have liked this video, press a like button and share it to your near and dear ones. And if you feel that this video is really helpful, then press the like button, and also do care to comment it in the comment about it regarding it in the comment box. And next time when I come back, I will be coming back with some another interesting video. And if you are new to this channel, I request every one of you to tap onto the subscribe button, click onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new video you get notified instantly. And if you want a consultation from me, check the links down in the description section. You can mail me through my email ID or get connected with me through my Facebook or Instagram accounts. So till then, I'm signing off for today. Thanking you. Bye bye.